When you dial 911, you expect an operator to pick up. What if instead of the reassuring voice of a stranger guiding you through the emergency, you got a recording saying that the number you dialed was not assigned to any device? If you've ever called 911 or tried to call someone and the line went straight to voicemail, you probably assumed that the person you were calling was unavailable or simply didn't want to talk to you. But believe it or not, there may be a more sinister reason behind hearing nothing when you punch those 3 digits into your phone. Here are 6 times calling 911 will get you no answer. Welcome to our channel. Where do dead people go when they die? If you ask most people, they'll say they either go to heaven or hell, depending on whether they're a Christian or Muslim. But according to some sources, the afterlife can take a lot of different shapes. Some people claim that after death, their consciousness goes to an ethereal place where they can watch their loved ones without being noticed. This sort of limbo can last for days, weeks, or even months. It's hard to verify this theory, though, because, well, you can't interview dead people. Despite the difficulty of verifying stories about the afterlife, some say it's possible for the dearly departed to stick around on Earth for a while after they die, often appearing to those closest to them. Some experts even claim that this happens quite often. You might have experienced it yourself. In fact, certain unexplained phone calls seem to indicate that the dead may sometimes try to reach out to their loved ones after they die. According to users submitted reports to Reddit and various paranormal investigation forums, sometimes when you call a friend or family member who has recently died, you may end up speaking with their ghost. For example, a user named Bear Toaster recalled a strange conversation he had after his father passed away. He was listening to his voicemail messages when he heard a voice that sounded exactly like his dad. The voice spoke very quietly and said, "Hi, you've reached Bert. Leave a message and I'll get back to you." The thing is, this was the exact same voicemail greeting that Bert used when he had a landline. But he had died 10 years before and gotten a new cell phone number since then. So why did this former police officer, man known for his gruff exterior and love of practical jokes, leave himself a creepy voicemail message in the afterlife? Who knows? But this story highlights just how eerie some of these phone calls can be. And not all disembodied voices come from friendly relatives. Even though ghosts aren't scientifically proven to exist, some believe that after death, certain individuals can linger on Earth for a variety of reasons. These spirits could be angry, confused, frightened, or simply lost. This may explain why sometimes when you dial a random phone number, you get a call from beyond the grave. The haunting calls. Imagine you're home alone, bored, looking up random phone numbers online and deciding to make a few prank calls. You dial up a random string of digits expecting to hear a busy signal or an answering machine. But instead, someone picks up on the other end of the line. However, their voice sounds tired, hollow, like they're speaking from inside a tomb. And then they start telling you things that they shouldn't know. Things that only someone who knows you personally would know. Unless this person is a psychic or stalker, they must be dead. Cases of mysterious phone calls like this have popped up all over the internet, each one more disturbing than the last. There's the time user, "Oh my gosh, dead guy," called and told a complete stranger in intimate details about her ex-boyfriend. Things that nobody outside the couple knew, including the fact that he liked the color blue and enjoyed eating gummy worms. Then there's the story of Reddit user Tiggerburner, who received a call from someone who seemed to know everything about him, including the name of his dog Sparky, which was a pet he'd had for 16 years and had only been dead for 3 months. He asked the caller how they knew all this stuff, and the person on the other end of the line responded, "Because I know you. I'm your brother." Now, this was odd because Tiggerburner's parents had only ever had one son, and he was an only child. So who was this mysterious caller pretending to be his sibling? Could he be reaching out to his brother from beyond the grave? Well, it's certainly possible. When death comes unexpectedly, it can leave loved ones reeling. And sometimes grief can be so intense that it appears to manifest physically. Known as a death touch in Japan, this phenomenon occurs when someone feels the ghost of someone they recently lost lingering on their body long after they VA died. Some believe that this sensation is caused by unresolved feelings of grief and guilt. And it seems that in some cases, it can even manifest itself in phone calls. In fact, it's been reported that sometimes when you call a relative or friend, they may pick up on the other end of the line and speak to you as if they were alive. A good example of this is a story shared by Reddit user Snake Discovery, who once received a frantic call from her sister, despite the fact that she had died tragically 5 years earlier. On the other end of the line was her sister's voice, asking her to get to the house quick and warning her that something bad has happened. Though shaken by this experience, Snake Discovery wisely hung up and called back her sister's number, only to get a voicemail recording. When she listened to it, the message was still just as cryptic. Her sister was telling her to please come quickly before the line went dead. While it's obviously unsettling to receive a call from someone you know should be dead, this phenomenon may have a perfectly rational explanation. Some say that this type of thing can happen if the deceased individual was cut off mid-sentence right before they died. Their last thoughts could be their final words. Sometimes, though, when you call someone who has recently passed away, they may answer the phone, but it won't be a friendly conversation. In fact, some say that sometimes when you call the number of someone who has died, you may hear their voice on the other end, but it won't sound like themselves. Sometimes it may sound like a demon. According to user Strange Day, one day when she was working at her job in a library, she decided to pull up a list of phone numbers for people who had died. She called the first one and was surprised when someone picked up, "Hello." The voice that answered was raspy and inhuman. "Who's there?" she asked. "Why did you call me?" the voice sneered. "I was watching you," it hissed. "Watching me what?" The voice laughed, and the line went dead. When she called the number back, she was met with a busy signal. But why would someone pretend to be a demon when you call their number? Well, one possibility is that it was a mentally unstable person playing a prank. But others believe that demons may use the disembodied voices of the dead to contact humans. No matter what you believe, though, it's best to keep in mind that when you call a number that's no longer in service, you might just be getting a call from hell. Have you ever called someone who has recently died only to hear an inhuman voice on the other end of the line? So, share your story in the comments below. And if you'd like to hear more scary stories about ghostly encounters, check out these videos. Thanks for watching.